Mooey Bears. Welcome to our weekly wellness lesson with Mrs. Slack. How are you doing? I cannot wait to see your faces. I'm hoping that somehow, some way, that will work out where I'll be able to see you. I have enjoyed, however, getting to see some of your work that you've turned in, and I'll get to that later. But first, let's start out today with a silly question. So, I have my choices in a jar, and let's see what today's question is. Okay, if you had to choose, so this is for us to play along with at home, so ask somebody. If you had to choose, what would be your choice? If you had to choose, shrink as small as an ant or grow as tall as a giraffe. What would you choose? If you had to choose, shrink as small as an ant or grow as tall as a giraffe. I think I would want to, I think I'd want to grow as tall as a giraffe, but that might be a problem. I wouldn't be able to fit in my house anymore. Or my car. Unless I had a convertible. I don't know. What would you choose? I'm eager to hear your responses. So if you want to email me, my email is diane.slack@gccisd.net. So diane.slack@gccisd.net. I'd love to hear your responses, and then also you'll have a chance to turn in an activity that I'm going to tell you about in just a little bit. So let's get started. Just as a brief recap, what are some things that we've learned so far? We started out our weekly wellness lessons by talking about breathing, and we had this cute little star puppet here, and he reminded us to smile and take a deep breath and relax, because it's hard to feel grumpy if you're smiling. Sometimes we have to change our actions and then our attitude will follow. So we smile, take a deep breath, and relax. And we also did some other deep breathing exercises. So smile, take a deep breath and relax, the balloon breath, and the drains and the pretzels. And so we talked about how deep breathing is one way to help our bodies feel calm. How about you? Have you been practicing some of that deep breathing? Let's all take a deep breath together. Ready? Yes, all right. Let's try 4 square breathing. Ready? We breathe in, we hold it, we breathe out, and we relax. Ready? Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, and relax. There we go. Awesome. So deep breathing, it's a great way just to help our bodies and our mind to feel calm, to get to that spot where we can think again, we can be able to think clearly. So we started out with breathing, and then we talked about our feelings. And we talked about with your feelings, you've got to name it so you can tame it. So we talked about feelings faces and ways that we might feel. And I had some of these feeling faces, and we talked about those different feelings. But I want to show you something. Here's what some of you have turned in. Now, here's some feelings faces from Miss De La Rosa's class. If you guys can see those. Those are awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this one says thankful. This was grateful. You've got another one on here. Oh, this is great. Here we go. Excited. Those are from Miss De La Rosa's class. Thank you for turning those in. And oh, this is from Mauricio. Look at that. This took a picture of his artwork and turned it in of his feeling face. And it says, I am doing great. I love that. You can tell you really enjoyed that. And then this one is from Leonardo. It says, I am doing awesome. Look at that smile. I can tell Leonardo is doing well. Excellent. So thank you for sharing those feeling faces and turning those in. Maybe next week, if you will snap a picture of our activity for this next week, turn that in, and I'm gonna actually lay these to the side because I'm gonna hang those up over here. I love that. I loved your artwork. So here we go. Oops, my paper is getting all wet there. I'll set that to the side. We're gonna use that in just a little bit. But today, so we talked about, breathing, we talked about naming our feelings, and then today we are going to talk about finding hope. You might say, well, Miss Slack, how do we find hope? There's a whole lot of things that I can't even control. In fact, I can't even control whether or not we go to school. So guess what? Here's what we do. With finding hope, you're right. Sometimes there are things that we can control and things we can't. So here's what I want you to do. Grab yourself a sheet of paper. And if you want, just hit the pause button, go get yourself a sheet of paper, and then come right back. And I want you to trace around your hand. Now, if you make your hand a little bigger than smaller, then it's going to be easier because we're going to write on the inside. So we don't want you to be skinny fingers, but try to make it big. So I'm not going to worry about if my hand looks exactly like my hand. Yeah, it's okay. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, got a little bit on me. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to talk about finding hope. And we're going to, with that, think about things we can control and things we can't. So here's my big hand. Okay, so what we're going to do is on the inside, we're going to write things I can control. Things, so maybe you can get an adult to help you with this part. Things I can control. And then on the outside, we're going to say things I can't control. That's out of our hands. So things I can't control. Up here. There we go. So on the outside, things I can't control, and on the inside, things I can control. So things I can control. Well, let's think about that. There's some things I can control. What about my effort? I have been starting this online exercise thing, and the trainer said, come on, put your best, give it your best. And I thought, I can control that, whether or not I give my best or not. So my effort is definitely something that I can control. Asking for help, that's up to me. If I'm ready, asking for help. Sometimes I've noticed that my kids will get real frustrated, and I think they think that they have to do everything on their own. And you know, frustration isn't a bad thing, but we also have to know when to ask for help. When do we keep on pushing through, and when do we stop and take a break and ask for help? It's not a bad thing to ask for help. So far, we've got effort, asking for help. What would you put? I want you to write down a few more things. I'm going to write down some things, and then we can share them. So I'm going to put some things I can't control. And I made a list earlier because sometimes when I'm making this video, I don't think so clear right away, so I had to stop and think ahead of time. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a big one. And then let's see another one. Okay, so, oops, spelled that wrong. Okay, it's supposed to be an E. Okay, so here we go. What I eat, I can control that. Am I eating too much leftover Easter candy? Hopefully not. Okay, my sleep routine, am I staying up too late? Because I know when I stay up late, I have a tendency to sleep in late, and I don't want to miss being able to connect with my classmates and my teacher online. So, my sleep routine, I can control whether or not I go to sleep. Now, mom and dad might have a bedtime for you, and, you know, so hopefully you've got a set bedtime, but, you know, when you go to sleep in bed, that's a choice that you have to make, and hopefully we're making good choices to go to sleep on time, because we know if we have a good sleep routine, it helps us to do better. What I eat, hopefully we're making good choices to eat a lot of those healthy foods and to slow down on the woe foods. Let's see, some other things, maybe my future choices. And, words. Words that, words are not just the words I say, but the words that I think. Because the words I think are sometimes to myself. Maybe I'm thinking them towards someone else, but the words I say to myself, how I, that self-talk, how I talk to myself, am I getting down on myself and calling myself names, or am I doing that to other people? Calling, oh, I hope not. Or am I encouraging myself? Am I encouraging others, saying, that's okay, I don't get it yet. I haven't got it yet. I'll learn it next time. I'll get some more help. I'm not there yet. The power of yet. Oh, that's a whole nother lesson. But the words that I say and think. And then also, let's see, you know what? Also, my attitude. That is definitely something that I can control. Am I going to have stinking thinking, or am I going to have a good attitude? Hopefully we're making good choices. I'm going to have a good attitude. Now, things that I can't control. Well, I can't control the weather. I can't control what others say. I can't control my height. If I'm going to be tall or short, I cannot control that, so I can't control the weather, what others say, my height. You know, I can't control if someone else apologizes. I might think they should apologize, but I can't control that. Let's see what others do. I can't control their actions. I can control my actions, but I can't control their actions. What others think. Past mistakes. Now, yes, whoops, I am responsible for my actions, but we can't change the past. Can't squeeze that in there. We can only hope to make better choices in the future and work on making better choices in the future. And then also, you know, that, you know, what other people are, I've got on here, I put school family. So oh, I know what I was saying. It's like, you know, people that are in our class, people that are not in our class, you know, who our teacher's going to be. Those are things I can't necessarily control. But if I look at the things I can control, oh, see, there's a lot of things I can't control, but if I will focus on the things I can control, that's going to help me. And it's going to help me, we said today we're going to look at finding hope. So we're going to focus today on this one of attitude. Having an attitude of gratitude. I have found that when we try to have an attitude of gratitude, that things go a lot better. That if we go around all grumpy and grouchy, things usually don't go so well. But if we can have an attitude of gratitude, usually things go a lot better. Now, I'm hoping we're going to be able to see this all right. And so what I'm going to do, I've got just my plain old plate. I think I used this in a lesson before. I'm going to add some water to this. Here we go. How much water? I started to carry this in here with water, and I was like, "Whoo, that's a bad idea." So set your plate down. If you want to do this along with me, you can. So I'm going to add some water to my plate. There we go. I probably should have brought some paper towels in here later to help clean up. So if you're doing this, then you'll want to do that. But I said that what we're going to do is we're going to look for hope. Now, sometimes when we are looking for hope, we might say that we're kind of like this little picture here, that we might feel like things are just not looking so well. If I were to look at this tree, I would think that's a pretty sorry looking tree. It doesn't look so good right now. But we know that trees need the right things to grow. They need, what does a tree need to grow? I bet you've been learning about that in class, in science, about what living things need to grow. So if we look for those things and we think, you know what? I know if I apply some sunlight, if I take care of this tree, if I water it, that pretty soon, this tree, look here, what's going to happen. Whoa, can you see that? It's pretty cool. I'm going to scoot it back, because I think if I come back further this way, you can be able to see it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So there's one. So when we look for hope, sometimes it doesn't look like it's there. And it might just look like, let's put this in here. It might just look like things are not working out so well. But if we have an attitude of gratitude, if we try to stay positive, now that doesn't mean that you're perfect. It doesn't mean that you don't ever get down, because you know what? Anybody can feel sad sometimes. Anybody can feel kind of grumpy sometimes. Anybody can have a bad day. That is okay. I have bad days, okay? It's all right. Moms and dads have bad days. It's normal to have that. But what we want to make sure is that we're not getting stuck in a rut and having those bad days all the time, because then that starts becoming our habit and starts becoming our norm, and we don't want to do that. What we want to try to do is we have to make that choice to look for the positive things. We make that choice to look for the hope. And sometimes it might look like that things are not all there, but if we do our best, look at there. Can you see that? That hope appears. So that's kind of a fun little thing, activity. You said, it's like, how did you do that? All it was a couple of paper towels. I cut them in half. I took a paper towel, I cut it in half, and I drew on one side, I put that on the bottom, so hope was written on the bottom, it was the bottom paper towel, and I put another paper towel on top of it and drew on it, so when I put it on the water, there you go. So who knows, maybe you can try that at home. That was a fun activity. I did that with my kids, and we had lots of fun trying that out, trying different things. So I said that having an attitude of gratitude, though. What we don't want to do is walking around worrying all the time, because we know, yes, there are things that we cannot change. That's okay, that's normal. But instead of focusing on our worries, we're going to focus on our hope. So here's another activity, and I want to encourage you to see if you can try this at home, and then maybe once you finish it, snap a picture of it and send it to me. In this video, if I can figure out all of the technical things, my daughter and I, we tried this, and so I snapped a picture of it when we were finished, and so I'm going to try to stick that in the video somewhere in this so you'll be able to see. What you'll want to do for this next activity is you want to go around and just gather some different objects. I've got some like straws here. Those are what are they, smoothie straws, or you could use regular straws. You could go and get this is just some pasta. See that? Usually we've got pasta around the house. So put yourself on a mission to just gather things. You could do all kinds of things. I've got some little hair things in here. I've got scissors. Go outside. This was fun. We went outside and we gathered, oops, those are kind of falling apart. This was those little, we call those clover flowers. So you could, I don't know, maybe get a bunch of crayons or glue sticks, or, we've been saving these. I think these go to the Ronald McDonald House. And so gather a bunch of things, whether it's cereal or pasta or straws, and there's two different things you could do. One, some people like to do, and I think you've probably talked about this in art class maybe a little bit, is making a mandala. And a mandala, what that is just, it's like a piece of artwork that's a circle and it repeats itself. And so you might say, well, we start out with a circle, and then we have like a little pattern that starts to go around it. You could even, there we go, got raisins, okay. Then you might decide, hey, I'm gonna make a little pattern, go around behind it. Now making a mandala, ooh, this one smells good too. You can smell it. A mandala is just, it's a calming activity in making that it helps you to see, when we see the patterns and things, I don't know what it is, but it really does help put our mind at ease. And the neat thing about a mandala, this one is just kind of hurried and put together, is that when we start to see the patterns and things, then it's like, wow, it's pretty cool that, so maybe we want to add something there. And then we've got, so you could make a mandala, and maybe you want to use some pasta, you could add some things to it, or what my daughter and I did, and hopefully I can put that picture in there and say, here, this is it. So if that shows up in this video, then that means I figured it out. If it doesn't show up in the video, then check back next time and I'll show you pictures of it. So hopefully I can get that to work out. But what my daughter and I did, we went around outside and we picked up lots of different, I took a little pair of scissors out there and took some leaf clippings and leaves and rocks, and we spelled out the word hope. And so what we did, we just kind of laid things out. So maybe like if you were gonna do that, say, okay, well, here we go. I'm going to, can I do that? Oh, there we go. Okay, so if I want to stick this together, I say, okay, there's my letter H and the letter O. And so you could go around and find some lost things or, gathered things around the house, and maybe you could spell out the word hope. There we go. H-O-P, and then, okay, squeeze this over. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see this. I don't know if I got this in the shot or not. You will see, but you get the idea. H-O-P-E, there we go, so hope. So what I wanna encourage you to do for our activity this week is look for hope. You can look for hope and say, well, I'm gonna go find some activities. I'm gonna spell out the word hope and show, and then, snap that picture and share it. We actually have this left. It was sitting on our front porch. And so someone came over to drop off something and they saw that, and you know what? It brought a smile to their face. They saw that and they're like, wow, that's really neat. I think I'm gonna go home and try that. So who knows, maybe you could, in doing that and looking for hope in the places we wouldn't normally expect it, you can actually share hope with somebody else. And when we share that good news, when we share hope with others, it makes us feel better. So that is our challenge for this week, is looking for hope, even in places we may not normally find it, because I wouldn't have necessarily thought of these objects as hope. But when we put my mind to it and make choices about what I'm gonna do, am I gonna get stuck in a rut, or am I gonna make good choices? Great things happen. There you have it. So let's see what you're gonna come up with next week. Now, one more thing before we go, we've got our game for this week, and it is called How Many? So this will be a fun activity or fun game that you can do with a sibling, mom or dad. And so what you do is you think of, you could say animals. Okay, how many animals can you name with 4 legs? Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, or you might say, how many vehicles can you name with 4 wheels? Or you could say, how many animals can you name with whiskers? Or how many insects can you name that have 6 legs? Possibilities are endless. So that's our game for the week. I hope you have fun with it. I have enjoyed this time together today. It was a little bit longer than we've had before, but I've had so much fun just being here with you. I know that you've got lots of people pouring into your lives. We are here for you. If you ever need us at all, you can still call up to the school and type in Ms. Mata's last name, type in my last name, Ms. Slack, and that number will ring to us, and you can still get a hold of us if you need us for anything at all, because we are here for you, Baby Bears. We care about you so much, and we want the very, very best for you, and we cannot wait to see your sweet smiling faces soon. Take care, Baby Bears. We'll see you next time.